And good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to a special edition of Cruz Inc Radio 102.8 TV live streaming. We are honored tonight to have a very special guest with us. She is no stranger to anybody that's in the city of Richmond and also in the state of Virginia. She needs no introduction, but if you've ever met her, you know she's a straight shooter. She's very transparent. And one thing that you can say about Antoinette is that she says what she means and she means what she say. Welcome with us once again, Dr. Antoinette V. Irving, Sheriff of the City of Richmond. How you doing, Sheriff Irving?
Doing well. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing fine, doing just fine. Again, thank you for being here. I think this is what number four now.
Could be. Thank you for having me. I really do appreciate it.
And well, we thank you for taking time out of your schedule this evening. And I want to say to everybody, whatever you're hearing right now, we don't know what that is. And we tried several times. Sounds like a Cookie Monster, somebody in the background. I guarantee you it's not on her end. And I can't find out what's going on, what it is. So we'll apologize for that. I'm going to keep playing with some things here. Hopefully that'll stop. We want to. This is called the state of the office, and want to know how that derived in terms of the state of the office. Go ahead, Antoinette.
Okay. Basically, we do a state of the office every quarter so that we can talk to our staff to let our staff know exactly what's going on and what our expectations are and how well we're doing, and if there's anything that we can do better for the citizens here of the city of Richmond. So that's kind of what the state of the office is. We call it a conversation with the sheriff to make sure that we're all on the same page and want the staff members to know that I am accessible to them, and that we have communications, however it is that we need to talk about different things, and we want the public to know that we're also here and we'll provide whatever information it is that we need to provide.
Now, we're going to be talking about a couple of different things tonight. Hopefully, we'll be able to get through those. And if anybody has any questions, we ask that you put your questions in the comment section. We will preview your questions and, again, understand that we will entertain certain questions. Certain questions will not be entertaining because this is a show that we like to inform our listeners. We like to bring them information that's going to be valuable to them and their family. So first thing we want to talk about is COVID updates from the Sheriff's Department.
So we've been fortunate now that we are COVID free. We're in our 14-day period that we wanted to make sure that we did a 14-day quarantine outside of the zeros and negatives to make sure that all the COVID is gone. We've been doing a lot of cleaning. And we're moving into some other health and wellness things. But right now we have no staff members and no inmates that are in an active status for COVID-19.
So the last time we talked, you were doing a lot of proactive things. It sounds like that's continuing. When people are coming in, is that still some proactive measures as well that you have in place?
Absolutely. When individuals first come in, they go, if they're here, when they first come in, they'll do 1 or 2 days until they go to court. When they do their arraignment, if they stay, then they'll be in a 14-day quarantine. If they don't, they'll go home. But if they stay and after their 14 days, if they have no signs or symptoms, some people that may have some type of chronic condition, they may stay longer, up to 20 or 25 days, just to make sure that nothing can attack them within that extra time period. So they're quarantined, and then once they're quarantined, they come out of their quarantine status. They'll go into general population as for the classification of whatever their suspected crime is or whatever their alleged crime is.
Now, you and I were talking offline before the live broadcast, and you were mentioning that you want to treat every citizen that comes into that jail the same. Expound on that for us.
What we try to make sure is that we're treating everybody the same, making sure that everybody has um, the same opportunities. We're working on some of our programming now, just working through COVID and how it is that we can get individuals in and help us progress. We want to make sure that our educational programs, whether those are vocational or academic, we want to make sure that our inmates that are there that wish to have that opportunity can do that. We're looking at our virtual programming right now and getting ready to start up in November. It's already October, so we're just trying to make sure that we are providing services and programs to the individuals that are in our custody and making sure that we treat people like they're human. We do the best we can to make sure that everybody is the same and that even our residents and inmates are treating everybody with some type of care and humanity, especially during this time. It's a critical time for us and it's a critical time for family members. We're trying to make sure that we communicate with family members. We do a pulse check every week and send that out on Facebook or social media to make sure that family members are aware of what's going on in our building and trying to make sure that we communicate with our inmates as well throughout the week to see how they're doing. If anybody is symptomatic of anything, because as you know right now, some of the same symptoms for the flu are the same symptoms for COVID. So we want to make sure that we're addressing any symptoms that anyone has. And then also we're trying to make sure that the individuals that are in our custody give each other a fair opportunity. Using tablets for visitation and for other programming. We want to make sure that they share in doing those things, because if any one person doesn't allow somebody to be able to use those products, they're not going to be able to visit or use the phone and call their family members to let them know how they're doing. So a lot of the inmates are very, very respectful of each other, and they're trying to make sure that everybody gets the same amount of time to use the phone or use the tablet. So we're working on that. I know one of the biggest things right now that we have to focus on, a lot of the inmates want to play basketball, and we've been advised by the health department not to do that at this particular time, but we do try to give them an opportunity to move around and walk around and have recreation. We've placed a lot of board games and things in their living quarters so that they can play games and things. Still social distancing and making sure that they wear masks. We just changed out all the masks that they have and gave out new masks on yesterday to ensure that any masks that they may have had during the COVID time that we had, that all of those masks are gone, and any of them that can be washed and cleaned, that all of those are gone out of the area as well. So we're trying to make sure that they have all the supplies that they need and they can communicate with their family members as much as possible.
Now, are visitations at this time restricted because of the pandemic?
Yes, we still have visitation, but we have visitation on the tablets. That's what we're trying to make sure that our inmates share in that. So we have to make sure, even though we are cohorting in some of the parts, to make sure that there are not too many people out at one time. We still have to make sure that they're sharing in those tablets and no one person is taking the tablet and hiding it or doing something else with it or breaking it because they don't want somebody else to use it. So we have to make sure that we have enough resources for individuals to be able to see their families through the tablets, but also that they can continue to use the telephones to call their family members as well. So we're looking at now when's going to be the best time to open our visitation back up. So we're just looking at that. We've had a few of our residents to lose family members, really, really close family members, mothers, grandmothers, those types of things. And we've made some exceptions only for them because they're not able to go to a funeral. So we've made a few exceptions trying to see how this is going to work when we open visitation back up.
Now, you were mentioning some of the educational things that you're currently rolling out right now. Do you have a lot of businesses that are involved in the community that's helping with the educational programs that you're implementing?
Well, right now we don't have the businesses that are awaiting the inmates to come out. What we have is we have individuals that's going to train the individuals that we have. They're working on training them, and once we start the training, then we'll have our partnerships already in place. So hopefully by October, the end of October, 1st of November, once we roll out our virtual programs, we want to make sure that people are trained before we try to put them into a job. Those people that will be doing forklifting and cosmetology and those types of things, we want to make sure that they're fully trained then they're certified, or they're in a position to be certified when they leave out, or that they're in a position to be certified when the individuals can come back in and get the last piece of their certification. So the business that we're working on, we're trying to hold back on them right now. They're trying to get all their paperwork together to make sure they have everything straight. The city has a program also that they're wanting to connect with us to make sure that individuals can get jobs. We have some individuals that are in that pipeline, but we want to make sure that the educational academic part is there as well as the vocational, because it's going to be a lot to make sure that getting those CDLs is going to be very, very important to the individuals that once they can get certified. So CDLs and forklifting and cosmetology and culinary and those types of jobs are going to be out there. And those are jobs we want them to have. We want them to have jobs that's making more than minimum wages so that they can feel good about themselves and they can feel good about the part of being able to take care of their family members. And we know a lot of people now are struggling through the crisis of COVID and not having jobs and being laid off. But we want to put them in a position that they're ready to get out there and work once they leave our facility, or they're in a position to finish out their training. And we have one program that we're working with that once they get out, if they don't complete their training while they're inside, they will get to go and continue their training, and it's paid for.
Wow, that's very aggressive and cutting edge, especially having the CDL and also the forklift certification. I don't know very many facilities that are involved in that type of preparation to re-enter society. Is that something that has always been a passion for you in terms of making sure that everybody that comes in can leave there with a skill set if they choose to?
Absolutely. We want people to be home ready, work ready, and community ready, and to be a productive part of what goes on in this city. I love this city. I've been a part of this city. I've grown up here, and I want to make sure that people can be prepared the right way to go out and do the right thing for their family members. We have some very talented individuals that are inside, and we want to make sure that they have the right attitude when they go out and knowing that they can do more and be more, or they can just add to the skill set that they already have. Because we have some very talented and very bright individuals that are incarcerated. We want to make sure that they're prepared.
And not only are you interested in the people that are within the Justice Center, we were talking that you want to do some community things to help perhaps some of the young ladies as well that's in the community, not just the young ladies, the younger people that are 15 to 16, and try to reach them before they come to the Justice Center. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We want to build that relationship and continue to work on that relationship. With the schools being closed down now, it's a little more difficult for us to be able to reach out and touch the young people. But we want to continue to build on those relationships, and we want to find out what's going on out here in this city. Because the product that we have for individuals that are incarcerated is great, but we don't want to have our young people, 15, 16, 17, 18, we don't want to have them to get in a position to be incarcerated to figure out what their goals in life are going to be and what it is that they can do differently. We've had a lot of violent behavior in our communities in the last few months. Has really increased, and some of it can be because of the stress and the anxiety that people are having. However, some of it is because we need to make sure that our young people are busy and they're doing productive things, and they're not connecting with the people that's not really trying to do well for them. They're just connecting with people because family members are trying to make it right now. People are struggling. So we want to get out in the communities and talk to our young people, talk to our teens and our 20-year-olds, and make sure they understand how important they are and how much we care about them. But not only that, we want to make sure we give them the tools and resources as well to make sure they can do things. Everybody's not going to go to college, but we want to make sure that they have tools and resources so they can get good jobs, and if they have families, that they can provide for those families. So we want to work with our young people. That's a responsibility of ours as adults, where we are now, to make sure that the young people in our communities are in a position to be able to do better. The young people are in the same community that I've grown up in. They're in the community that I live in every day. And I like talking to them, and I like working around them. So our job is as citizens here and as adults here is to make sure that they can have a better future.
Sure, Irving, how do you go about building not only the trust for law enforcement within the Justice Center, but outside the Justice Center as well, so that when you are out in the community, people see you not just there to lock them up or to serve warrants, but as an agency that also is being proactive as well.
Well, we've built a lot of good relationships and good rapports with our elementary students. They know who we are. They anticipate seeing us, and they like that. I went into the Boys and Girls Club just today, as well as one day last week, and the young people remember who you are for who you are. If you're being real with them, you're transparent with them, and you're around them because you genuinely like them and want to do something to help them, they can see that. So we try to build off of that, trying to make sure we're a part of the things that they're doing. We're helping them with their work. We're playing games with them. We're strategizing and talking about life with them. So we want to build that trust to make sure that the young people know that we are real people, that we have problems and situations that we have to deal with every day and we have to work through. And we want to let them know that you're going to have some things in life that you also have to work through. I was just talking to a 30-year-old a few days ago, and he was saying that he reacted to something because of his emotions, and it could cost him his livelihood, his family, and everything. But it's about emotions, and how do we teach our young people or help our young people through dealing with life and emotions when you have responsibilities? So those are the things that we want to work with our younger kids with early in life. So you won't be 30 years old and you're still reacting to something as if you're a kid with no consequences behind them or no severe consequences. Now you're 30 years old and you make one choice that may not be the best choice that you made, and you lose your job, you lose your home, you lose your family, and you have people that are dependent on you, but because of your emotions, you don't actually do things the right way. So we want to build those relationships by communicating with them. Young people want people just to talk to them and be sincere. And a lot of us as
Right.
adults just don't do that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. They see us as being very judgmental and out of touch with them. And a lot of times we're telling them that you're right, that everybody needs to go to college, but everybody's not college material. We have to start cultivating, and I think, in my opinion, where there's construction jobs, there are plumbers, there are electricians, because if you look around, all these jobs are going to other cultures. And I'm not down in other cultures, but I'm saying as African Americans and just, we need to start getting into some of these trades because these trades are paying good money now.
Absolutely. And that's what we're doing. That's a part of our vocational training as well. We're going to have some electricians and construction workers. We're going to have all those people to leave out of the facility that they're in now at the Justice Center. And they're going to be able to do those jobs, and they're going to be able to do a good job doing it. So that's what we're working on. All of that's a part of what we're working on. And we want to make sure that when we talk to our young people, that they know there are other alternatives. It's not the fact that they're not prepared to go to college. It's just some of them just don't want to go to college. You can make good money doing some of those things that you like to do, doing things with your hands. We want to work with some agricultural stuff as well to make sure that our young people know that there are scholarships out there if that's what they want to do, or they can learn some trades from individuals throughout the community. There are a lot of people that want to help our community right now, and we want to take advantage of those individuals that have those resources that can help our young people. But we got to make sure they know that those people are out there to help them, but they still have to use those cautions and make sure that they are making the right decisions for the right reasons.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the health update. There are a lot of things that you all are doing in the Justice Center right now that's being proactive for the season that's coming up.
Absolutely. We're working on flu vaccines right now. We've actually given out probably about 75 flu vaccines already, and those are just voluntary. The inmates, we've gone through the different parts and asked anybody who wants to take the flu vaccine, and we've educated them on the flu. We've educated them on COVID and how some of those things are similar to make sure they will know which one it is if they get something. Hopefully they don't. So we want to be proactive, and we're doing the flu vaccines. We're doing the pneumonia vaccines, and we're also doing the shingles vaccine. So we want to make sure that we're working with all the individuals that are incarcerated to make sure that they're able to be well, whether they stay or not. Those individuals that come in, we ask them as soon as they come in from intake, we're asking them, would you like to take a vaccine? If they want to take the vaccine and they get released, then at least they've already taken it and they're able to be well and be prepared. Again, as we know, vaccines don't mean that you won't get something, but it reduces the possibilities of how you feel if you happen to get it.
Absolutely. Now, you all work extremely hand in hand with the health department, and also you have a trained nurse or a doctor on the facility. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We work well with the health department. We meet with them at least weekly. We were meeting with them a little bit more frequently, but we meet with them weekly and we talk about different health issues that are going on or may not, or different preventive methods that we can use within our facility. We have a doctor that's on site. He's on site 5 days a week. We have RNs, we have physician assistants, we have LPNs, our directors of nursing, our administrators. They're in the building all the time. We have medical staff on duty 24 hours a day. You know, it was really great. Just last week, our doctor ended up taking a bullet out of the guy. So he's a great doctor. He's taking, he's putting stitches or sutures in people's lips. He's doing a lot of different things, and we're so happy to have him. He's fairly new with us. We've had some other doctors, but I think he's going to be the right fit for us. He can do some things for us to help us to cut down on costs, as well as to help our inmates from having to go to the hospital, because a lot of them right now don't want to go to the hospital because they know that we're doing a lot of things different to prevent them from getting COVID, and they're not too sure of what other people are doing in reference to making sure that folks don't get COVID. So we want to make sure that our doctor can do the things that are needed. Are there some people that will still need to go to the hospital because of other chronic conditions? Absolutely. And if they need to go, then we're going to make sure that they get there. We have people that have Hep C, they have chronic diabetic issues or heart conditions and things of that nature. So we have to make sure if there's some issues with them, we want to make sure that they get to the hospital, which is a minute maybe away from where we are, which we're very, very fortunate that our hospital is so close. So we want to make sure that we can provide all the health care that we possibly can to anyone. Right now, the respiratory is the thing that everybody's looking out for, and we're trying to make sure that those individuals that may have some asthmatic things, that we're making sure that we're providing the tools and resources that they need as well. But the main thing with the wellness for our individuals that are in our facilities is education. We want to teach them about their diet. Mm-hmm. We want to teach them about what happens when things feel not so right. What's the difference in different types of ailments that you can have? So we're really trying to educate individuals on different things and make sure they're aware. We had a conversation just today about what's a bean. Many of us have grown up on string beans and baked beans or pork and beans and think that's a bean.
Right.
So, and they saying, I'm going to eat the beans. But string beans, baked beans are not beans. So a lot of them don't know that. So we're trying to make sure that we're educating individuals on those diets that they can be on that's going to be healthy, those diets that are going to help them with their medical conditions. So we're working every day to make sure that they understand wellness and how important it is to be well and follow the directions that they're given.
Now, one point that I want to make and that you brought up, and it has to do with the level of care. And I'm saying this because nobody should ever want to spend any time in the Justice Center, but it's apparent that sometimes the care that they're receiving inside the Justice Center is a lot more than they would receive on the outside. And then the other point is there's no drop off in care during their stay at the Justice Center. Evidently, that's a priority of your entire organization.
Absolutely. We don't want their level of care to decrease at all. Our goal is to increase their level of care. We want them to be able to go back out in society and be with their family members and get a good job, or have a good job, or be able to sustain the job that they have and be a productive member of our communities and of our society. That's what we want to do. Some people haven't stayed still long enough to even think about what they should be doing for their care. So when they come in, again, we educate them on that, but we want to make sure that their level of care is heightened because it's so important that when they go back out that they're going to be with their family members and they can help their family members to understand what's going on with them, or they may even learn something that they can take back to their family members. We're working on how to teach our individuals that may be in a struggling community how to deal with overdoses. So we're going to educate them on how to use Narcan and when that should be used, because they may be in a situation or in an environment that someone may overdose. So we're working on teaching them those types of things and educating them so that when they get out, that they'll be prepared just to live a really good life.
We want to talk about this. Are there any programs at this time that you have that are helping perhaps the inmates to prepare to vote or to try to get their rights back that's going on at the Justice Center?
Absolutely. We've already worked with Voting for Freedom and the registrar's office to make sure that we have individuals registered. We've made sure that individuals have filled out the forms to get their rights back if they were in a position to do that. So we're just waiting for them to get their information back for those that registered so that they can get their vote in and vote as early as possible. So as soon as their voting material comes in, we're going to let them vote and get that material back to where it needs to. They'll mail it out because, of course, we can't mess with their ballots, but their ballots will be mailed to the registrar's office to make sure that their voice counts. And they're wanting to make sure that they're in the position to vote. They're asking us, can we vote? What's the voting process all about? They're asking about the different amendments. What are they? And so they're engaged in the process. And folks came over and did that. So they are registering to vote. They're registering to try to get their rights back. If they can't vote in this election, they're working to vote in the next election. But they're enthused. They're saying that this election is going to be one of the most important elections of our lifetime. So they want to be a part of that process. They want their voice to be heard.
I want to make a special note. I just received a message from StreamYard, and they are the network that's carrying our broadcast, and they're having some audio issues. And so that's why you hear that noise in the background, and they're working on that. So we apologize, but it's not on Dr. Irving's part, and it's not on our end. This is a network audio issue here. I want to give you an opportunity to this open dialogue session here for you to say anything that you would like for the citizens of Richmond to know, your staff to know, or anybody else that's tuning in and will be tuning in. All right, Los,
Can you repeat the question because I didn't hear it? I think I lost you.
Okay, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk to the citizens and let them know anything that you would like for them to know about the operational side of what's the Justice Center. Anything you want to close out with?
Sure. I just want to let folks know that we're doing the best job that we can for the citizens of the city. We want to make sure that we're continuing to work hard. We want to make sure that if you have questions, give us a call. We'll be sure to answer your questions and put you in a position with someone that can answer your questions. We want you to communicate with your family members. Again, remember that there's not a lot of health information that we can give to you because of HIPAA, but we can't give your family member messages in order to give you a call. We're not restricting individuals from calling or having conversations or communications with their family members. We are hiring at the sheriff's office. We are looking for really good people that want a career. I've made this a career. It's a great job. You get to meet a lot of people. You get to do a lot of great things. And we're gearing up for the holidays. Unfortunately, this year, we won't have our trunk or treat as the advice of the Department of Health. So we won't have our trunk or treat this year, but we will be doing some things during the Thanksgiving time period to make sure that especially our seniors and people that in some of our other programs are taken care of. We're still working with our Are You Okay program, checking on our seniors. We're also working with our Project Lifesaver to make sure individuals that may have some needs of ours or some communications or we need to help is not right. Still working with Project Lifesaver and okay, the citizens in our community are doing well. So we're still doing everything in the precautions that we need to as COVID is, but we want to make sure that we're still in our community and we're doing good things. We're working with our faith leaders. We're working with our community leaders. We're working with individuals that are out here in the streets so that we can stay informed and be informed about what's going on and making sure that individuals, family members are connected with what's going on with them inside of our facility. The city of Richmond is a great city. We have a big election coming up, and we want to make sure that everybody gets out to vote, make sure that everybody's voice is heard. But we also want to make sure that people are treating people kindly because this is a tough time. It's stressful. There's mental health things that are going on. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Breast cancer survivors are out there. So be kind to someone else. And then hopefully other people will be kind to you. So we want to make sure that we send that message out from the Richmond City Sheriff's Office of how much we care about the people in this city because we have a big job that we have to do every day. And we want to make sure that we let you know that we're doing it, we're working hard, but please be patient with us as we are patient with the individuals that we work with every day.
I got one question, Chair. If I were to come to work, would I have to shave my beard?
Shave it down just a little bit. You have to shave it down just a bit. Have a nice profile. And make sure, we want to make sure that we represent the city well. And I think you're doing fine right there, and you could be okay.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much. I'm going to just a few minutes here releasing some information from the alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. They're going to be hosting a caravan to the polls. The sorority will be hosting a caravan on 2 dates. The first caravan is to the polls event. Will be held October the 24th and will be hosted at Easton Henrico. The caravan will start at noon at Highland Springs High School and will traverse Highland Springs, Cedar Forks, and Creighton Road areas. A second caravan will traverse communities in Route 5, New Market Road area. Both caravans will end at the Eastern Henrico Government Center on 3829 Mile Road in Henrico. And again, you're a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta, right?
Yes, I am. Very proud member. And the Henrico alumni chapter is getting out there this weekend to make sure we get people out to the polls. So let's make sure that we have our voice heard about getting out there and vote.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to be with us again. We always enjoy having you on, and this is your home channel. Anytime you want to come by, you're welcome to it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all your listeners. Thank you so much for your support and your kind words and your prayers that you guys have been sending me. We really do appreciate that. Thank you so very much. And thank my staff. My staff doing an excellent job. So I want to make sure that I say the staff's doing a great job and that we tell them how much we appreciate them publicly as we do privately. All week we've been talking to all the staff, having that conversation, but we want to make sure we let them know and let you know that we're proud of the staff that we have and our medical staff and our vendors and contractors that are working with us to make sure that we're doing all the things that we can to make sure we're treating people the right way. It's the right thing to do, and that's what we want to do. So we appreciate you very much for all of your support. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Have a good night, too. And tell Mom we said hey.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.
All right, everybody. We've been speaking to Dr. Irving, and we apologize. We understand that there were some difficulties that were through StreamYard, and apparently, as we were talking, having some difficulty. So I want to again let you know about the Henrico County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is hosting a caravan to the polls. The sorority will be hosting a caravan on 2 dates. The first caravan to the polls. Poll events will be held on October the 24th, 2020, and will be hosted in Eastern Henrico County. The caravan will start at noon at Highland Springs High School and will traverse Highland Springs, Cedar Forks, Creighton Road areas. A second caravan will be at the end of Henrico. The second caravan will be at Route 5, New Market Road area. Both caravans will end at Eastern Henrico Government Center at 3820 9 Mile Road and Henrico. Want to invite you guys to be with us tomorrow night. We have another special broadcast, and this is going to be with one of the candidates for the 8th District for School Board, Miss Dana Sally Allen is going to be my special guest. So mark your calendars. Tune in again with us tomorrow night at 7:30 right here, Cruz Inc Radio 102.8. Live stream television. And also, right now, go over to the radio station. That is Cruz Inc Radio 102.8, your internet radio station for smooth jazz, R&B, gospel, and more. Go to our website at www.cruisinc.org for the best music on the internet. And also check out our new store that we've added. We are now selling all type of merchandise that's going to be part of the proceeds are going to benefit breast cancer. So if you want a nice Cruz Inc hoodie, mug, tote bag, any of those items, remember when you make that purchase that you're purchasing to help fight cancer, breast cancer in particular. So thank you as always for tuning in with us. Thank you for supporting us. And I want to say as well to my staff publicly, as I always say to them privately, thank you guys for what you do each and every day. All across the country, the Cruz Inc global staff is hard at work in marketing and the radio, putting on great shows for you. Want to thank all our show contributors, Iris Moments, and after hours with Al Seaford, and Tina with Smooth Jazz with Tina E. Also want to thank Aaron and Christine for What's Like Got to Do With It, and Cyrus Webb for Conversations Live, and want to give a special shout out to Cheryl Underwood, whose show is on our station on a regular basis. And also big shout out to DJ Pink Diamond, who's doing a phenomenal job. So we got an incredible team. Want to thank you guys. And also we got some great additions coming up. You're going to be able to hear the weather on Cruz Inc Radio 102.8. We also have the world news now, hourly during the daytime. So a lot of great things going on, and I am just really thankful to be a part of this wonderful organization and seeing it grow over the years. So thank you so much. Thanks again to Dr. Irving, Sheriff of the City of Richmond, doing a fantastic job. So you guys have a great night, and we will talk with you soon. Take care.